This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Mark Martin. Another economic stimulus bill making its way through Congress, costing $484 billion and mostly aimed at helping small businesses. But Republican leaders say it's only a short-term solution. Caitlin Burke has the story.
Unless we get our economy up and running again, there's not any way we can spend enough to continue to prop up the country.
$383 billion of this latest stimulus bill will be earmarked specifically for small business programs, including the Paycheck Protection Program.
We want to make sure this money is available to small businesses that need it, people who have invested their entire life savings.
The new legislation is on its way to the House after being passed Tuesday by the Senate. Meanwhile, much of the country is working to reopen.
20 states representing 40% of the U.S. population have announced that they are making plans and preparations to safely restart their economies in the very near future.
Still, some of the states rushing to reopen don't meet the White House guidelines. Georgia's governor is preparing to open gyms, bowling alleys, and barbershops this week, despite not seeing a 2-week decline in COVID-19 cases.
When we have more people moving around, we're probably going to see our cases continue to go up, but we're a lot better prepared for that now than we were over a month ago.
I certainly cannot in good conscience say that I agree with his order, and I will continue to use my voice as mayor of Atlanta to ask people to continue to stay home, follow the science, and exercise common sense.
CDC Director Robert Redfield warned that a second wave of COVID-19 could coincide with the start of flu season and prove to be even more devastating than what we now face. Dr. Deborah Birx says if there is another wave, the country will be much better prepared.
We're going to continue that surveillance from now all the way through the fall to be able to give us that early warning signal. I think what we've learned is how good Americans are about immediately reverting to all of those issues that they need to do in order to ensure that they're protected and their families.
Caitlin Burke, CBN News.
Tyson Foods is indefinitely suspending operations at its Waterloo, Iowa pork plant. The group president of the beef and pork subsidiary of the company says the reason is the combination of worker absenteeism, COVID-19 cases, and community concerns. The Waterloo team members affected by the closure will continue to be paid. Leaders say the reopening of the plant will depend on several factors, including the outcome of team member testing for COVID-19. As people stay at home due to the COVID-19 lockdown, scientists are reveling at the positive changes to the environment just in time to celebrate Earth Day today. Environmental scientists say air pollution is down 30 to 50% in different parts of the world. One of the most notable places is India, which is home to 6 of the world's 10 most polluted cities. On the very first day of lockdown, data analyzed by Center for Research on Energy and Clean Air showed the average pollution levels in the air decreased by 22% and average nitrogen dioxide reduced by 15%.
This is short-lived because the fundamentals of our economy, or the fundamental problem why our rivers are polluted or why our air is polluted, that has not been addressed, that has only been paused. But at the same time, as policymakers, as government, needs to really look at this data very, very carefully, that something that they were not able to achieve over decades, how did this mere a few weeks of lockdown, how was it able to achieve it?
And joining us now is weatherbell.com's chief forecaster, Joe Bastardi. Joe, what data are you seeing on how the lockdown is affecting the Earth?
Well, it's certainly stopping true pollution. Nitrous oxide is you can't, life doesn't, let's say, when you exhale 100 times more CO2 than you inhale. Trees take that in and make oxygen. What we aren't seeing is the slowdown of the CO2 increase. There is no stopping the CO2 increase. It is increasing at the usual rate it does at this time of the year because we don't have trees out now, right? So we're not changing the carbon dioxide to oxygen, right? And so this means that there must be another source for that, and it's most likely the very warm oceans, Mark, because the oceans are the biggest storage of carbon dioxide, and when they warm, they release it into the atmosphere. It's no different than you opening a can of Coca-Cola and letting it sit there for a while, and then the fizz comes out of it because the carbon dioxide's going into the air. Let me just say something about the sea surface temperatures. Hurricane Alley is as warm as I've ever seen it at this time of year. My company put out a forecast on March 10th saying this was going to be a huge hurricane season, and I see no reason to back off from that. But that, again, is because of the cyclical nature of the ocean. So it may be the oceans that are responsible for CO2 increase.
Joe, will the positive effects to the environment result in shifts or changes to weather patterns?
Well, I don't think that what we're seeing there is having much to do with it. Here in the United States, you know, the most profitable countries in the world have cleaned their air up the most. We have much cleaner air than we did on the first Earth Day back in the early 70s. And when you take a lot of sulfur dioxide and some of these other particles out of the air, there's more incoming solar radiation, and especially in the dry areas of the Southwest, it results in it heating up even more. So there's always back and forth, Mark. For every step you take, you leave a track. So you have to try to balance risk and reward.
On another note, parts of the U.S. suffered extreme weather earlier this week, and more could be on the way. What's the forecast for the next few days, Joe?
Well, we've got a big outbreak. I don't think it's as big as the one on Easter Sunday. That was a monster, 174 tornadoes. The recent outbreak only had 8 or 9 with them. We had some severe weather in the east now, but this area coming through this afternoon into tomorrow and coming right across the southeast yet again. And that's, folks, is because it's so cold in this pattern across the United States, and the Gulf is so warm. The natural clash zone is from East Texas toward the Carolinas. Same kind of thing is likely to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours.
And are we going to see that change anytime soon, the cold clashing with the heat?
Well, I don't think so. It looks like there may be a variance of it coming down the road. You've got to get out of this pattern. But what's interesting is, if you remember, it was cold in November, and then the end of the cold season, it came back again. It is indicative of a big shift in the Pacific Ocean, in the signaling mechanisms in the Pacific Ocean, that's liable to impact both the summer and the hurricane season.
All right, Weather Bell Chief Forecaster Joe Bastardi, thank you so much, Joe, for your time and your insights.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Tensions between the U.S. and Iran continue to rise. In a tweet this morning, President Trump said he has ordered the Navy to destroy Iranian vessels interfering with their mission. This after Iranian gunboats have been harassing U.S. ships in the Persian Gulf. Also today, Iran's Revolutionary Guard is claiming it launched a military satellite. According to the paramilitary group, the 2-stage satellite took off from Iran's central desert, but no more details in the announcement on its website. The launch comes amid tensions with the U.S. over Tehran's collapsing nuclear deal and after a U.S. drone strike killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in January. Iran has suffered several failed satellite launches in recent months. Coming up, how some farmers are adjusting to COVID-19 restrictions as strawberry picking season is underway. But before we go to break, here's a look at what's trending on CBNNews.com.
Before you marry is a bad idea.
Don't tell me there's no such thing as gun violence.
That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Watch Dan and Dale tackle trending topics that test your faith on the next Faith Wire, Monday night at 9:30. The Global Lane takes you around the world providing facts over fiction.
What might rising trade and geopolitical tensions mean for you on the home front?
With over 45 years of experience, award-winning journalist Gary Lane brings you the truth from a global angle.
What about the issue of immigration?
World news analysis you won't see anywhere else.
And it's all right here on the Global Lane.
Watch The Global Lane, Thursday night at 9:30.
You're watching CBN NewsWatch. Strawberries came early this year in Virginia because of a mild winter. The only problem is with COVID-19, who's going to pick them? Those concerns caused some farmers to cancel their popular You Pick season, while others opened their fields with some restrictions. Wendy Griffith has more.
It was picture-perfect weather for strawberry picking in Pungo, a rural area near Virginia Beach. Bruce Henley, owner of Flip Flop Farm, just hoped folks would take advantage with new safety rules in place due to the coronavirus.
The rows in the field are 5 foot apart. So we're putting a flag down every other middle and telling people to stay down the rows without the flags, and that puts them 10 foot apart in the field.
And when people weigh and pay, Henley says they can rest assured.
We're extra sanitizing, we're wiping down all the buckets, we're wiping off the scale in between each customer, wearing latex gloves, doing all we can.
Here in Virginia Beach, strawberry picking is an annual tradition for many families. These are known as Sweet Charlies because just like the name, they're super sweet. And despite the coronavirus, people are out enjoying this beautiful weather while still maintaining social distancing.
We live close by, and we're always really excited for strawberry season and just to be out in the open. Everyone seems to be social distancing well, but to get out here with our kids too.
Just down the road, however, Mike Culliford kept his strawberry fields closed to picking.
We're completely opposite of anything we've ever done before. With everything going on, and with the CDC guidelines and what the governor has mandated, our family decided that our first priority was keeping us and the people that help us, our employees, safe. Second priority was keeping our customers safe.
So Culliford decided to take a different route, online ordering and pickup service.
That's the preferred way. Is you go through our website, prepay. We give you a time slot like the grocery stores are doing of when you can come pick up your box or bag or what have you.
The decision did not come easy.
We feel bad that we're depriving people of the opportunity to come and pick, and it's costing us money because, you know, most people want to do that, so we know we're losing business, but you have to do what you're comfortable with, and this is all we're comfortable with right now.
Another problem for both farmers is manual labor. The pandemic kept many seasonal workers home, so Culliford hired a local girls' high school basketball team to help pick the delicious berries.
And he said that we can come out here and pick strawberries while social distancing and getting paid. So I was like, yeah, count me in, because I work at a restaurant as well, and I can't work right now.
Meanwhile, back at Flip Flop Farm, Michelle and her daughter Neely picked enough strawberries to go around.
Today we wanted to get out of the house because we've been cooped up for so long with this social distancing, and we wanted to pick some strawberries so we can send some joy to some of our friends.
What are you personally going to do with your strawberries?
We are going to cut these up and make our homemade whipping cream and make shortcake.
And that is a sweet ending to this story. Wendy Griffith, CBN News, Virginia Beach.
Is it good?
Sounds great. Well, still ahead, we're going to show you how CBN's Operation Blessing is providing solutions for problems faced by everyday Americans and first responders during the pandemic.
On the home front.
Thanks for joining us for CBN's On the Home Front, where we highlight what the men and women of America's military do to defend our country. CBN honors the men and women in our military with an initiative called Helping the Home Front. It partners with churches across the country to meet the needs of their military families, from repairing homes to wiping out medical bills for wounded veterans.
On the home front, Tuesday morning at 10:30.
If you want to be an attorney with a passion for serving people and for excellence, Regent University needs to be high on your list.
Regent's award-winning law school doesn't just create lawyers. We create leaders, judges, prosecutors and defense lawyers, civil litigators, and leaders in government.
My focus has been trying to really make sure we have the future leaders we need for the bench and the bar and for society generally.
You'll learn from highly credentialed leaders who are current and former judges, distinguished scholars, and ACLJ counsel.
I'm so glad I chose Regent. The relationships here have been amazing. The faculty have been amazing. Not everybody's called to the same thing when they leave law school, but they're called by a God who has a purpose for their lives, and He is going to use that education to make a difference in the world.
Regent will prepare you to be a purpose-driven, practice-ready lawyer. To start your rewarding law career, complete the online application, submit your transcripts, and take the law school admissions test by July. Apply today.
Welcome back to NewsWatch. During the coronavirus outbreak, medical personnel and first responders still lack protective equipment, while many out-of-work Americans must choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. Charlene Aaron shows us how CBN's Operation Blessing is working to fill both needs.
You see them on the roads or on the front lines during a natural disaster. Now, Operation Blessing is helping during the COVID-19 outbreak.
Through tears and prayer, he just thanked us a lot for what we were doing for them.
That includes providing sanitation supplies and masks to first responders.
One of the officers that came to pick up the items last week was choking back tears when he told us what a load this was off of his shoulders, that he had gotten down to only 70 masks. And with the large amount of officers that he had, he was losing sleep at night trying to figure out how he was going to be able to provide for those officers.
Hannah Slusher says Operation Blessing has given out nearly 50,000 N95 masks so far. And that's not all.
It has things like contractor bags, paper towels, all-purpose cleaner, bleach.
This helps police officers disinfect their patrol cars, and firefighters keep their equipment and stations clean. Many first responders often eat together, train together, and sleep in the same quarters, making them more susceptible to this virus. 13 firefighters in San Jose, California tested positive in late March, and 75 others are on leave due to possible exposure. Another reason why donations like this are so important.
Being able to have sustained supplies is vital to us. It's truly a blessing, it is for us.
And with messages like God bless you and keep the faith, Portsmouth Fire Chief James Hoffler feels grateful for the support.
Firefighters are very resilient. We are sworn to put ourselves between you and danger, and that's what we do. And to have somebody looking out for us is a pretty neat thing.
Operation Blessing is not stopping there. In the last 2 weeks, they have given out more than 45,000 pounds of food.
As we looked at the impact that children being home from school and parents having hours cut or actually losing their jobs completely, we knew that we needed to get involved.
Produce, shelf-stable products, and non-perishable items are now available each week at the organization's distribution centers. Robin Ross says access to free groceries has lifted a weight off her shoulders, given the recent loss of her job.
That means at least one problem right now I don't have to worry about. I know me and my grandson will have food, and now I can concentrate more on trying to figure out how to do my room rep.
It's all about hope for families in need and relief for first responders.
God, we thank you for their families. We thank you for their hearts. We thank you for their love for their communities. And we pray, God, that you'll continue to bless them and everyone that they represent.
Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Amen to that prayer. Great to see them helping out practically and spiritually. You can find out more about Operation Blessing by visiting them online at ob.org. Coming up, a comedian's tragic loss in this COVID-19 pandemic sparks a much-needed gift to more than 100 struggling families in New York City. We have that story and a few other bright spots in the world of entertainment. That's coming up next.
If you want to be an attorney with a passion for serving people and for excellence, Regent University needs to be high on your list.
Regent's award-winning law school doesn't just create lawyers. We create leaders, judges, prosecutors and defense lawyers, civil litigators, and leaders in government. Ready to become a purpose-driven, practice-ready lawyer? To start your rewarding career, complete the online application, submit your transcripts, and take the law school admissions test by July.
Nutrition, exercise, essential oils, weight loss, and more. It's Healthy Living with Lori Johnson.
Talk about what's in this.
Join CBN health reporter Lori Johnson to get the latest information from today's top health experts.
This is fantastic.
Find out what you need to know to live a healthier life. Watch Healthy Living, Tuesday night at 9:30.
Woohoo! Hi, Superbook fans. Here's something else you'll love. It's the new Superbook Bible app. It's packed with games, activities, and Superbook episodes that you can watch for free. Oh no! There's trivia, a fun daily devotional, and answers to your Bible questions. Plus, an easy-to-understand Bible the whole family will enjoy. You can even create your own Superbook character. Ta-da! Whoa!
Millsburg Falls man.
Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, excuse me. Ouch!
Are you getting this?
Earn super points to win daily prizes too, and so much more. Time to get back to my adventures. See you soon. It's the new Superbook Bible app. Free downloads on iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon.
Kanye West makes mention of Chick-fil-A in his music, but the hip-hop star now joins forces with the fast food chain to help feed people who are struggling to put food on the table in the COVID-19 shutdown. And he's not the only celebrity reaching out to help others. Ephraim Graham brings us a look at a few good things happening in the entertainment world in this week's Studio 5 Countdown.
At number 5, comedian Chris Rock is teaming up with Lionsgate on a reboot of the movie Saw, which I assume he will be recalling Synced.
Saturday Night Live star Michael Che has joined the ranks of those who've lost a loved one to coronavirus. His grandmother just died from the disease.
I'm doing okay, considering, he writes on Instagram. I'm obviously very hurt and angry that she had to go through all that pain alone.
The comedian now honors his grandmother, lending a hand to more than 100 New York City families in need.
In an Instagram post, Che announced he would be paying rent for 160 apartments in the NYCHA building where she once lived. Che and his family once lived in the Alfred Smith houses on the Lower East Side. Che grew up here. Michael Che's grandmother hasn't lived here since 1990, but still he says the building is important to his family, and now he's urging the city to also step up.
At number 4,
the Los Angeles Chargers select Isaac Rochelle.
This defensive end is making good use of the extra time on his hands, with the NFL's off-season workouts sidelined by COVID-19.
He teamed up with some of his neighbors to make a difference.
We kind of built out this whole initiative called Local Human. And what Local Human wants to do is give back to human.
It's an apparel brand with intention. Their first campaign is a partnership with Meals on Wheels to target seniors who are considered high risk to the coronavirus.
Every shirt, I have a shirt on, that we sell for this current campaign is going to be 3 meals and a wellness check-in.
Although Meals on Wheels is a federally supported program, it's significantly underfunded, especially now.
Given the climate of COVID-19 and kind of where they're at and the amount of clients that they've had, the increased clients that they've had, I mean, they're in jeopardy of not having enough money to last through June.
At number 3, closed on Sunday. You my Chick-fil-A.
Kanye, Chick-fil-A, and the LA Dodgers.
Really, whatever it takes, we're just going to stay here and serve.
Help the LA Dream Center reach a milestone of service with generous donations.
The Dream Center feeds 2,500 hot meals a day, so they will be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner while LAUSD is closed.
It's now served more than 300,000 meals to needy families affected by the COVID-19 shutdown.
We love Los Angeles, and these are dark times, but one thing I want you to know is we'll just always be here. And we don't know what that looks like as far as volume of people coming through, but 7:30 to 6:30 every day, you'll know where to find us.
Chick-fil-A.
At number 2.
This is my quest to follow that star.
And from his New York City window, that's Broadway star Brian Stokes Mitchell, saluting COVID responders with the impossible dream.
And I know if I only be true to this glorious quest.
The Tony Award-winning actor's tribute came as New Yorkers paused at 7 every night to applaud healthcare workers and first responders confronting the virus.
Everybody sing it! They are reachable.
At number 1.
Global Citizen says Saturday's 8-hour One World Together at Home live concert event raised just shy of $128 million to fight the COVID-19 pandemic.
Still, the most memorable moment.
I pray you'll be alright and watch us where we go.
This performance of the prayer.
Let this be your prayer when we lose our way.
With Lady Gaga, Celine Dion, Andrea Bocelli, and John Legend.
Wow, beautiful. Well, there are many more uplifting entertainment stories coming your way this evening on Studio 5. We're sitting down with recording artist Matthew West, who shares how he's serving up hope every morning from his home during this time of quarantine. And you can catch that and more on Studio 5 on the CBN News Channel. It's all tonight at 9:30 Eastern. That's going to do it for this edition of CBN News Watch. Remember, you can find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel anytime or online with cbnnews.com. Also, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. Take care. Have a great day.